let's go.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up, no stove top. Ice cold, no snow drop. Big budget ass, big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke,
yeah, well, we can hold the peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Real gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the 2-door. Sega Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king in the apology.
You about to see a new side of me. I promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Your ego bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode.
You really have people fooled out here, don't you? When are you can't pretend to be a king? It ends today.
She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Own me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue G's. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the newbie. FTLOG on the top with the blue G's. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3267 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, Beaches, Booshes? Bustas, hustles, and yo-hos. It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you bees.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam, welcome to the show. Welcome to 3267. Thanks for being here. Hashtag Get Swole in the comments for a chance to win today's Swole card. Again, drop that hashtag Get Swole in the comments down below and make sure you are subscribed for the audio version of the podcast. You could also watch the video on Spotify, and you could also listen on Apple Podcast. Make sure you leave a 5-star review if you have not yet done so. A lot of people are commenting over on Spotify, so appreciate that. Pam, shout out to Pam for commenting on a recent episode. So make sure you go and check that out on Spotify, The Daily Swole, on Rumble, and YouTube as well. Hashtag Get Swole in the comments down below, fam. We got a great show. Let's jump right into it. It's time for that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. So let's see what we got today, 3267, Wednesday, April the 16th. On Monday, we had our accountability meeting, and that's now available. Of course, we had some new releases, which are available now in the Swolenormous app, so members over at swolenormousx.com can check out those brand new drops. We have a new merch release, the Swole Gumby. That's based. You got the beer logos for the nips. It's fantastic. Go and check it out right now over at papaswolio.com. We have 20% off everything. Plus, all the new releases are right there on the homepage, so you can check it out. Lots of big things coming. I'm really excited for some upcoming major releases and announcements, so members, you're going to be the first to know. Very excited about that. Just a little teaser. We got big things coming over there at papaswolio.com, so make sure you are ready for this. I guess we can call it the second quarter of this year. We're almost to the halfway point. We just kind of got through tax season for a lot of people. Not for business owners necessarily, but of course the first 3 months are 4 months, 3.5 are done of the year. So we're getting into it. Again, make sure you're buckling down with your 7 pillars. Make sure you're focusing on those proper habits. Whether or not you set a resolution, it doesn't matter. The time is now. It's April 16th. So are you making those gains? Are you making those gains? Are you making those positive improvements? Let's get into those Swole Fam posts. Let's start off today. Let's get into the app with Leslie.
What's in the box?
Leslie says after taking a week off from weightlifting due to sickness, getting back into it felt amazing this morning. Nothing like waking up at 3 a.m. and smashing a full body workout. Get out there and get it, fam. I flex, you flex. Oh, yeah. Looking good. Leslie works out at 3 a.m. That's wow. Wow. Good for you. Good for you getting it done no matter what. Pam says, you're welcome. I've been listening to old podcasts while I clean. Well, excellent. I'm glad you do. And thank you for commenting. Super awesome. Let's get into an email. Hold on a second. Rufus has a hot spot, so he has a foam thing around his neck. So if you hear like bubbles moving, it sounds like rubbing. He bumps into everything now. So as a big dog, he's in the way, but he knows how to slink and navigate the house. But now he's bumping into everything. So it's kind of funny. It's like he's acting like an asshole because he thinks he's walking past you without bumping you, but he has the little inflatable collar around his neck. So he bumps you. So he's walking by like, oh, sorry, bro. Hitting walls and scraping on things. So it's kind of funny. Okay. We're talking puppers in the comments. So that's great. Let's get into what the heck is that? Why is the circle? How do I deactivate that? How do I deactivate that circle? The magnifying glass. How do I activate that? Oh boy. I hope, is that the theme of today's episode? All right. Let's see. Can someone look up how on a trackpad or on a Mac you can get rid of the magnifier? Hit escape. Oh, escape worked. Escape worked. Based. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. Yeah. Like if you know what to do, sometimes once you know what to do, oh, cool. It's a cool feature. I don't need the magnifying glass, man. Reading one letter at a time. Let's get back into it. Gary, responding to the email, did you give up on your resolutions? We're just talking about that. Gary says, I think accountability and honesty is critical. I fell off hard from my carnivore diet, or mostly carnivore diet, and honestly, I'm feeling it in my energy and joints again. As far as my working out, I'm still diligent. I'm at the gym 3 times a week and doing my home gym and resistance band and bodyweight exercises nearly every morning, minimum 15 minutes to 45 minutes a day. The sugar and carbs have added a few inches back on my waist, but I have noticed my arms, chest, and legs being harder and bigger from the workouts, and the fat layer getting thinner. My body weight has gone up like 15 to 20 pounds, and I know my diet is a direct result, so I'm going to be focusing on my nutrition hard over the next few weeks. I don't know how much you or anyone really care, or if I'll get a response from this, but 2 years ago, I was north of 450 pounds with a 62-inch waist. I'm now at 280 pounds. In parentheses, I was 265 at my best a few months ago. I've put in a lot of hard work and it shows. I would really I would be honored and blessed to be able to be helped to the finish line. I don't mind if I could even be used with some stuff, some before and after stuff. So far, I've done everything alone with minimal financial ability, getting nutritional supplements as I could afford them. I run my own food truck and have 7 kids, so they are my why. I see all kinds of success stories of people and how they become projects of successful influencers / health and wellness professionals. I would love to be able to be the next great success story. Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Gary. And I think we're gonna do something special with Gary. I have a feeling. I just got that instinct. So we are responding, obviously reading this in the podcast, but we will be reaching out to Gary and making sure he continues to make those gains. 7 kids. 7 kids. Is this Pedro? Is this Pedro's alias? I think this might be Pedro's alias. This might be Pedro kind of trolling me. I'm surprised. Maybe Pedro created an email, called himself Gary, and maybe this is a setup. Maybe in the next email, he's going to follow up and then ask me about intermittent fasting. That'd be a long con. That's something Pedro would do. He's like, damn it. Foiled again. Foiled again. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Good for you. He didn't mention intermittent fasting. He didn't mention that. If he did, I've been like, maybe this is, did I just take someone's idea? They're like, oh my God, don't create aliases and then ask me about intermittent fasting. I'm already on to you. That's fantastic, Gary. That's super dope. Did you give up on your resolutions? Gino says, I never made a New Year's resolution, but I did promise myself I am going to get in shape, and then I ended up having a heart attack, and now I'm seeing life differently, but I'm not stopping. I'm losing a lot of weight and I'm working out, so I'm starting to feel great. I haven't stopped working out even after my heart attack. The doctor can't keep me down. I'm still going strong, but that heart attack had a clogged artery, so they put a new stent in my heart, and I feel like I'm 29 again, and I'm lifting like I'm 28. But I have to do slow reps, lightweight, but I'm making progress. Wow, Gino. Keep making those gains. Let's definitely, we support your progress, and that's fantastic. You're doing whatever you can. And coming back after the heart attack and surgery, that's some serious stuff. So let's take a look at that nutrition. Hopefully you're working on your nutrition and you're listening to some of the content about an elimination diet, carnivore, these types of approaches, so you can maybe decrease your risk of something like that happening again, and start those other lifestyle habits as you'll get more involved if you plug in and listen to the podcast and things like that. So Gino, super awesome. Good for you. Good for you. What's your excuse? What's your excuse to not go to the fucking gym? You got people out here with 7 kids and heart attacks, and I didn't stop lifting, and you're like, I don't feel like it. If you want to get on the email list and send us your, you want to send us your stories, get on the email list, respond to the emails, and tell us. We share a lot of stories, so I'll write an email and I'll tell you a story about something. We'll talk about nutrition, or we'll talk about consistency, or all the different emails we send out. But feel free to respond with your own personal experience. If you want to share a success story, just reply to one of the emails. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com, makeemailswoleagain.com, and get on the email list and reply and share with us your stories. When an email hits a nerve, or, oh my God, I was just thinking about that, or, yeah, this really hits home. That sounds like my experience. Share it. and we get to read them on the show and give you a shout out. And we won't dox you. We won't share your email address or your last name or anything like that. 100% it's Pedro. Let's get into some knowledge cock. So let's move on to some questions. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole in the comments. And if you have anything or a follow-up or a topic that you want to double click on, drop in the comments. Cerny says, love to hear people working on their health. Don't hear it often enough. Indeed. Girth Rocket. Oh, I like that name. Is it true that if you miss a day or two of creatine, you have to build it back up from scratch? People seem to make it seem if you miss one day, it's game over. No, it's certainly not game over. Most people don't even supplement with creatine. So creatine is great for so many benefits, and there's more and more coming out that taking larger doses of creatine can be beneficial. So I encourage all of you to experiment. I'm not saying take 30 grams a day, but I definitely take 10 to 20 grams a day lately. I've been leaning more towards 10 or 15, that range, just to see. I've been taking 5 grams a day for as long as I can remember. But taking a little bit extra has actually been very interesting, and it feels good. So there's cognitive benefits, there's psychological benefits, there's physical benefits. So definitely look into it. Definitely look into it. If you're already taking it, experiment, maybe adding another dose midday or after your workout or in the evening, something like that. Spread around and see how you feel. So no, if you miss a day or two, it's not like you have to go back from scratch, because creatine is found in foods like steak. But it's definitely something that's beneficial to take on a regular basis. So, and again, why miss it? So the only reason you would miss creatine, I don't know why you would miss it. Just add it to your routine of your morning electrolyte drink, or after a workout, or before a workout, or before and after a workout. Just make it part of your routine and take it. You could take it at any time of the day. I've been experimenting. I actually put some in, I have like an evening cocktail, tea that we've been doing and really liking. So I'll put some in that too. I've just been experimenting. Been sleeping great. Question. Let's take one. Actually, we'll load up the interwebs just because we can get some more action on the calls or on the questions. So we'll take one from Instagram stories. The Dragon Lord 6, Papa Swolio, best back and chest training. Well, there is no best, but what I will say is it's very simple. Back training, you want to train your lats and you want to train your traps. So make sure you're doing some sort of an upper back row with the arms flared. Chest support is great. So do something like a low to high row where you're getting a shrug, where you're getting a lot of retraction, protraction, and 2 different lat exercise. One, the frontal plane, doing some sort of wide grip pull down or wide grip pull-ups, and then doing some sort of row with your elbows close to the body. So it's a lat biased row. You don't need to do every single exercise in the book, and you don't need to do every single back exercise every back session. So as long as you're hitting those different areas, you can rotate through different exercises. You don't have to hit every aspect of every muscle and every exercise. So for shoulders, if you're training shoulders twice a week, you don't have to do overhead press and lateral raise and posterior deltoid work in both sessions. So this is what happens, because you get this kind of cumulative fatigue effect where it's not just the local fatigue for the muscles, it's also overall, you're doing more sets, you're doing more exercise, you're doing more volume as a result in many ways, in many cases. I mean, if you're doing 2 different sets, one exercise, 1 set, another exercise, 1 set, that's different than doing 2 sets for each and doing 4 to 6 sets for shoulders in one workout. That's just not necessary, because you're getting anterior and middle deltoid from a press and you're getting anterior middle deltoid from a lateral raise, just varying degrees of each one. So when it comes to these different movements, like for chest, you don't have to do an incline and a flat and a pec deck and dips, and you don't have to do every single exercise in a given session. Okay, because you're going to be hitting all these muscles anyway. If you're doing any kind of chest movement, you're going to get upper chest, you're going to get the sternal pec. It just depends on which one's going to get most of the stress based on your form and the exercise that you're choosing. So on an individual basis, depending on what you're trying to develop the most, based on your programming, there could be a better exercise but it has to be in the context. So if you say, hey, this is what I'm doing, which exercise would be best? I'm doing this, and be like, okay, it's better not to do these two because that's redundant, or that's going to be more fatiguing than if you swap this one out. So there's really no best. It's just in the context of what you're doing and what you have access to and what you enjoy. Will, Papa Swole, I'm around 194 pounds at 5'10". I will be going, and I keep going back and forth between building muscle and cutting weight. Would it be better to cut weight or maintain my weight and build muscle? I'm too indecisive. Focus on building muscle, man. Don't worry about the gaining and the losing of weight. Build muscle, because you don't want to gain fat weight. You want to make sure you're focusing on building muscle. Building muscle should be the most important focus for you. Period. You want to build muscle. You're not training just to, spin your wheels. You want to build muscle. You want to develop muscle. You want to be in an anabolic state. You want to create that growth stimulus. Because remember, your body's always in flux. So if you're not gaining muscle, you're losing muscle. It's just how it works. So when it comes to your weight, it doesn't really matter what the weight on the scale means. It's really just your body fat composition. Because you could trim down overall mass if you don't want to be, if you're too big and you're like, I want to drop down some muscle. It's like, okay, then you're not going to be lifting weights as much, and you're going to be, changing your frequency or changing your intensity or not progressing. It's hard. It's hard to toe that line. But if you're building more lean mass and bone density and all those types of things, proper nutrition, you'll just trim down and minimize fat over time. You don't have to be in a crazy surplus. You could build muscle in a maintenance as long as you're increasing protein as you're gaining performance. Because if you're flatlining with your strength, you're not able to add weight or reps, then you're just not building muscle anymore. You're not progressively overloading. There might be fatigue or programming issues or nutrition issues or sleep issues. So if you're too indecisive too, and you're going back and forth, you're not going to make progress with either. Just focus on building muscle. There's this weird association that building muscle means bulking and getting fat. It doesn't. It doesn't. Preston, what kind of shampoo do you use? I don't want all the toxins and shit. Just make sure you're finding something that I forget the name. There's a brand called Pure Zero. I know they don't have phthalates or parabens or X, Y, and Z. You just want to make sure that you don't want fragrances unless there's like essential oils in it and things of that sort. So you have to really look at the labels, and yeah, there is some trust that you have to have with the company. You can do your own homemade shampoo with egg yolk, and right, you can do something really straight like that. There's olive oil, there's things you can put, in your hair or brush through your hair. People use different oils and essential oils for some of those different strategies if you want to do something natural. I mean, I have long hair, so just doing some sort of completely all natural stuff can be a pain in the butt. But a lot of these shampoos, and obviously they'll have a lot of fragrances and a lot of petrochemicals that are used and additives. So you want to make sure it's fragrance free. It says phthalate free. You want the mineral oils, parabens, essentially these petroleum byproducts and things that can really jack you up. But there are ways you can go super, super old school. I haven't personally tried it, but TikTok got all that one. Podcast was muted. George Salazar, or can I call you Jorge Salazar? What's the best exercise for your butt? Well, there's different components. There's different ways to hit. If you want to train more of your upper glute area, doing some sort of abduction machine is great, where you're sitting down, pushing your thighs out to the side, leaning forward. It can really be great. You could do it in different positions, more hip extension or more hip flexion. That with a combination of 45-degree hypers with weights or with a band. Banded's going to get more of the meat of the glute. I like single leg step ups, but kind of leaning back either on a Smith machine or holding onto a bar can really help you rock back and get some really good extension and of the hip. Good for the adductors too. It's kind of like a lunge, but a step back where you're not getting as much knee flexion. So you adjust it so you're really staying in that glute sweet spot, and you can also make it deeper and get the adductors too if you're doing like a kind of like a reverse step up, down and up. Pretty much a single leg exercise, but very stable with a dumbbell and holding onto a rack or on a Smith machine. You can use it with cables too, but might be harder to set up. And hip bridges are great. Barbell hip thrusts are great, but it can be hard to set up and load, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. For me, I haven't done those in a bit just because I don't have a glute machine specifically yet. So loading up 5, 6, 7 plates on each side is just a pain in the ass. So I haven't done that, but I like doing the 45-degree hypers with the band, with dumbbells, or with a barbell. I like the step ups because easy to set up. And those are some really good stiff leg deadlifts, and RDLs are good for glutes. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's different things. There's a lot of different variations that you can do, but really it comes down to progressive overload. So the glutes can take a lot. So you can train the glutes every other day if you do one all out set, or you can train them. You could easily train them potentially even like 3 times a week, either one or 2 sets every other day or every 2 days. So any body part that you want to bring up, you really want to make sure you're getting enough volume, enough frequency. Doesn't mean more is better, but frequent is great. So you want to train the body part ideally as frequently as possible so you can provide that growth stimulus. So at least like 3 to 4 sets a week is a good range, especially if you're trying to build it. Cerny, my son's dentist called coconut oil the cavity puller. Ever hear that? People say it works on getting rid of cavities. Not that it matters to me. I use coconut oil every day. So like my gums have improved. I don't have any cavities, and I brush my teeth with baking soda and coconut oil. And then I put coconut oil in my mouth and I floss with coconut oil. So I do the coconut oil pulling and stuff like that. That's all I use. Use on the dogs too. That's all I use to brush my teeth is baking soda and coconut oil. And there could be variations with that. Greetings, everyone. Come on in. Let's say Will Beesing, Papa Swole. I've been looking for some more simple carbs to eat. Do you recommend any besides white or jasmine rice, potatoes, honey, and fruit? Dates. Dates are good. Fruit. You have honey there. That's really maybe you'd like getting into. You can test and see how like something like sourdough bread works for you, but it really depends on the type of wheat also that you're using to make sourdough. But you really need to be making that ideally yourself. But that's pretty much it. Raw dairy, you're getting carbs in raw dairy also. That covers a lot, man. That covers a lot. Director Jones, 20, Papa Swole, even on your birthday, you don't eat cake. No, I don't like cake. On my birthday? What am I, 4 years old? It's my birthday, I'm going to eat a cake. I'll eat a steak. Make me a steak cake. If it's my birthday, I want to have a great, delicious meal. I want a ribeye on my birthday. I want a juicy ribeye. I want to eat it, and I'm going to enjoy it like I do every day. All right. By the way, we got 20% off all merch over at papaswolio.com. Link is in the bio if you're watching on TikTok. papaswolio.com for all the merch, everything we got in the store. All right. Rese C. Papaswolio. How to get rid of the headache while lifting. There is no the headache. You're having a headache probably because you are dehydrated. You're probably low on electrolytes, your nutrition, but that's hydration. So hydration is very important. There could be other factors too. The fluorescent lights, your breathing during training, but likely it's a dehydration issue. Likely. Usually like sodium deficiency, magnesium, major reasons for getting a headache while lifting. So hopefully that helps. CJ Everhart 03, Papaswolio. What is your biggest motivator? For me, it's the Rocky movies. My biggest motivator? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Being healthy, having purpose, taking care of myself, pushing myself. I don't need a motivator. I don't need that. Yourself, life, discipline. I mean, that's when you have good habits and you've built this over decades, especially years, decades, especially decades. You know, you follow the 7 pillars. Then when you don't need motivation. I don't need motivation. No one needs motivation. That's it. What do you motivate? You need to be motivated. Do you wipe your ass? I always say this. Do you wipe your ass after taking a shit? Do you have to be motivated? If you go to the bathroom and you have a huge poop and you need to clean up, do you need to be motivated to wipe your ass? I'm not motivated right now. No, you're going to wipe your butt. Okay? Do you need motivation to brush your teeth? I mean, if you want to have friends or you want to scare people away. I'm not motivated to pee in the toilet. I'm just going to piss on the floor. I'm just going to pee on the floor. I'm not motivated to pee in the toilet today. I'm just going to piss on the ground. I'm going to piss on the couch. I'm not motivated to go to the bathroom. Hashtag get swole for a chance to win today's swole card. David Ferreira. How can I get my 6-pack abs? Only have 2.5 of them. No, you have 6. I mean, everyone's muscle and tendon insertions are different. Everyone's abs look different if you notice that. So that's genetics. You know, some people have more blocky abs. Some people have like all the separations. They got like 12 abs. So, I mean, 6-pack is just a generic thing. But, because, you know, beer and stuff like that, 6-pack. So you only have 2.5 of them. You got to be less fat, build muscle, inflammation, nutrition, lifestyle habits. Your avatar shows you with your shirt off, I think. Is it shirt off? On a mountaintop. Get a lot of sun. Get some sun on your balls. You know, eat some more steak, lift heavy weights, narrow down that nutrition better. You'll be able to see more of your abs. All right, Vishal Tank, Papaswolio. I hit a plateau. Should I be worried or keep going? It's a good question, even though it's vague. This is easy to pull apart, but should you be worried? Well, I always say this. When you're walking up a flight of stairs, each stair goes up and then over, up and then over. It's not a ramp. A ramp is linear. You know, you're just going to, the further you go forward, the more you're going up. But staircases have longer, you know, they have the part you step on, the horizontal portion. And imagine your progress as sometimes the stairs are longer. Sometimes you got to step up and you walk forward a little bit. Sometimes you got to take 3 or 4 steps forward and then you get your next step. So it's like you're going up a staircase up the side of a gradual hill. Some of the steps, you know, goes up a little higher and sometimes the steps go more vertical. You've been to parks, right? Where sometimes the steps are longer. You have to take 3 or 4 steps and then you take the next step up and it's, you know, the wood barrier, a little asphalt. And then you take 3 or 4 steps, you go up, and then sometimes you go 1, 2, 3, and then you go, right? So the stairs that are not absolutely identical. So the question is, when do you know that it's actually a plateau? Well, when do you know, what you're really asking is, when do you know to change things? When do you know that what you're doing isn't just keep on doing the same thing? You got to tweak something. Understand this is what progressive overload is. Progressive overload is you adapting. So here's the thing. If you're able to increase the weight and the reps, or both, either one or both, right? If you're able to do the same weight for another rep next time, if you're able to do 5 pounds more for an additional rep, if you're seeing your strength improving, you're going in the right direction. Your adaptations have allowed you to do more that next session. If you're not making progress, that's the sign over time. It's not necessarily what you're doing. I mean, it is what you're doing, but it could just be that you're over fatigued, or you're not pushing yourself hard enough, or you're not challenging yourself and increasing the weight when you should have been. It's really that simple. And you're not going to make progress every single session, but overall, if you see yourself flatlining, guess what? That means that your body is not able to adapt to the previous stress, which is likely. And if you take a few days off from lifting and then you come back and you see, wow, I'm stronger, I feel great, that means your programming sucks. That means you had an accumulation of fatigue and you weren't able to adapt and overcome. So you couldn't progressively overload. So take a couple days, if you're hitting that plateau, pull back a little bit. The misinterpretation of this is to do more. Well, I'm hitting a plateau. I'm not getting results. Let me do 3 more sets. Let me double the workout. Let me do 2-a-days. That's the opposite of what you want to do. So the first thing to do is to pull back, add another recovery day or 2, see if your strength improves. And if it is, then you know what you're doing. You know it's fatigue related issue and your programming sucks. So then you have to go back and cut the volume or add more recovery days. So people have this idea that more is better. And a lot of us like lifting. We like training. So you want to be in the gym more often because you love doing it. So a way to balance that is to pick a split like upper, lower, or full body when you're you're in the gym like 4 days a week. Full body has you in the gym every other day. And the next day you want to take some time off because you're training hard, but then you're recovered and you go the next day. You're always looking forward to a workout. The reason why I like the every other day approach is what you're essentially doing is you're always either training or looking forward to training. Meaning on Monday, if I'm doing a full body workout on Monday, I'm training, I'm enjoying it. And then the next day I'm kind of recovering, like, I still feel a little bit sore. You don't necessarily want to train. You don't need to. You kind of feel you blasted yourself yesterday, but I get to lift tomorrow. So I just get to chill today, focus on other things and just recovering, taking care of my health, eating right, meditating, doing some stretching and yoga and whatever like that. And then the next day you're lifting again. And you have a full body split where you don't have to necessarily hit every single body part, but you get to choose which one can get hit again or which one needs to. So you can still train quad. Let's say your quads, you just don't like doing every other day. It's challenging. There's certain body parts for me that I just don't feel recovered even with a day. I'd rather take an extra day. So just because you're doing a full body split doesn't mean that you have to train every body part, every workout. Maybe you do quads twice a week. Maybe on your full body day when you're training quads, you do 2 sets and then you skip the next session. And then, so it's like a Monday, Friday. Maybe you just don't feel like you can do a set of hack squats on Monday and then extensions on Wednesday and then hack squat again on Friday. It just might be too much. So you can really customize. So I like that because either I'm training today or it's an off day and I'm looking forward because I get to train everything tomorrow or whatever I want tomorrow. Or Monday or upper, lower rest, something like that. So there's a lot of different options. You got to pick something that works for you, but understand about what Vishal was talking about. You have to quantify and you have to keep in mind the fatigue. And if you're not getting results, it's not more. More is not the answer. The problem is probably that you're already doing too much. When I say too much, it's the context, right? You're not going as close enough to failure. You're doing a lot of junk volume, or exercise selection sucks, or it's redundant. Or you're choosing, right, or exercise selection sucks in the sense that you're not choosing the right exercises for those body parts that you're trying to grow, or you're choosing too many fatiguing body parts. There's a lot of people that ask questions. Hey, this is my leg day, and they're doing back squats, and then they do front squats, and then they're doing Bulgarian split squats, and then they're doing fucking RDLs, and then they're doing deadlifts. It's like, holy shit, you're just doing the same shit over and over again. No wonder you're not getting results. It's just the same thing in 5 different ways, essentially, in many cases. Storm Machine, hey Papa, what do you think about barbell hack squats behind the knee? Looking for some more home gym quad options. Yeah, you can do a landmine. You could do a landmine attachment, and you could like have it on the back of your back shoulder and do hack squats and let your heels come up, or you can do sissy squats with a landmine with it on your shoulder this way. So the bar is back behind you in the corner. You can also do barbell hack squats behind the back. That's how they were originally done. George Hackenschmidt. That's where hack squats came from. And he lets his heels come up so you can hold it behind the back or on your lower back and do it that way. So absolutely. What do I think? I think there's no bad movement. So that's a great exercise. Obviously, you're not going to, if you're back squatting 315, you're not just going to throw 315. You're going to have to start with like a bar and maybe like a 5 on each side just for the balance or whatever. And if you want to, if you have a rack, now here's like something I would say, not to say more advanced, but people like, Cerny can try this. But here's the thing. The problem is when you're holding the bar, you have to think about this. If you're holding the bar in your hands, that's a limiting factor. So you need to use wraps or you have it like on your glutes on your lower back and you're kind of like leaning forward more. Just make sure that your hands and the grip isn't the limiting factor. But you can also go into a rack. It depends if you don't want to grind your rack, but you can put like track pads or you have a Smith machine. You can kind of hold it behind you, lean into like a rack, lean into a rack, and then you can kind of lean forward. And it's kind of like a hack squat. So in other words, it stabilizes you because you're leaning against the posts, but you might you don't want to grind your squat rack, but some of you have outdoor squat racks that are beat to shit and you don't care. So you could also do that. Or you want to fuck up your bar, the knurling, but if you have a nice piece of equipment, you don't want to like grind the shit out of it, but you could also be creative like that. If you have a beat up bar, like a beater bar and a rack you don't care. You could also wrap a towel around or something and slide it up and down. They also do have like plastic cups and things like that, like flat parts that you can put on the rack so you can slide a bar up and down. You get some plastic. Anyway, I'm saying if that's something that you want to add for more stability. Yeah, you could do the landmine. Of course, the loading is going to be a thing, and just make sure you're changing the shoulders. Some people, I guess you have a Viking bar. Sometimes if you have a landmine, there's attachments for the landmine where you can actually have handles or pads for your shoulders so you could face into it, but you can also face away and do it like Tom Platt style or sissy squat. You could do sissy squats. So check it out. You can look it up online, like landmine sissy squats. You're just going to need the bar. You're not going to need any weight on it. So that's great for your quads. All right. Abraham, Papa Sully, how'd you get so strong? By lifting weights consistently for 25 years. That's why. Preston says, I never wipe. That's why I don't let shit bother me. Oh. Nice. Nice. Ladies, if you want a piece of advice, you've been lied to. The feminists have lied to you. You should be wiping back to front. It's 2025. Now we wipe back to front. I was thinking that's probably the next thing that the woke tards are going to push, right? That wiping front to back is white supremacy. And it's like the patriarchy that makes people wipe front to back. And then, so now the thing is going to be, if you're not a white supremacist, you wipe back to front. So they all smell like shit. All right. Wiping privilege. White privilege. White privilege. White privilege. Just like wipe yoga. Yeah. Wiping front to back is fat phobic. Toxic masculinity. The fatties can't reach. Yeah, fat people can't wipe. They need wiping. They need like extensions. They need to wipe with a spatula. Put the baby wipe on the end of the spatula and just kind of slide up their crack like a credit card. All right. I feel sick. All right. Let's move on. Fam, if you're watching on TikTok, come on over. The Daily Swole on Rumble and YouTube. We are going into the balls deep portion. So come on over. If you click on the link in bio, if you go to papasoya.com, we have 20% off all merch. And of course, you can find the links for the podcast if you want to just click over there and check everything out. And then come on over to Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole, Spotify, Apple Podcasts at The Daily Swole. Let's get into balls deep. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's deep. All right, let's continue. Fam. Let's get into it. What we got here? All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. We'll start off with this post on X from Piers Morgan, and this was yesterday. Says this is an incredible achievement by President Donald Trump that is not receiving anywhere close to the media attention it would get if it was any other president who had done it. So let's look at what Piers is referring to. It's a screenshot from Fox News, and it says Southwest border apprehensions. And it says March 2024 or so, in case you're living under a rock, Donald Trump was sworn in on, what was it, January 20th or 21st, right? It's 21st, I think. And in March 2024, there was 137,473. So that's just over 137,000 apprehensions at the border 2 months into Donald Trump's presidency, March 2024. All right. No, I'm sorry. Wait, yes. Oh, what's happening? 2024? No, so 2024, that's before. I'm sorry. So March 20. All right. Let me back up. I zoned out for a second. So incorrect. Obviously, Biden was president in March 2024. So a year. Okay. So, all right. Jesus Christ. So there was 137,000 last year during Biden's final year. Donald Trump is elected November 2024, gets sworn in end of January 2025. It went in 1 year and in 2 fucking months, 2 months of Donald Trump's presidency. Southwest border apprehensions are down 95%. 95%. From 137,000 apprehensions. Think of the number, okay? Think of how many people to 7,181. 7,181. Okay. Think about how many people got in. That's how many apprehensions there were at the border in 1 fucking month. Do you guys understand how many people? 137,473. 130. Let's just say 138,000. How many people in 1 month? In 1 month. Think of how many people have to be sent back. This is an untenable number in 1 month. Donald Trump is in office for 2 months, and it's down 95%. There's been 7,000 and you know what this means? Apprehensions. People aren't getting in. Okay? I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some people that are slipping through the crack, right? I mean, it's a big country. Someone might be getting. But how many people have been deterred from getting across? Apprehensions means they're not even trying. Apprehensions, meaning arrests. So if 137, if all these people were coming across, think about it. Just by Donald Trump being president, it's dropped 95%. Because think about it. If those are apprehensions, that doesn't mean that. That just means they're getting the opportunity to be arrested. Apprehensions. They apprehended 137,000 people. How many were just getting in? This is just, do you guys know, like, that's how many people were arrested? 137,000. Which means hundreds of thousands were getting in. We know that. We know that. So in March of 2025, they've decreased just people coming over, period. They're not even attempting. They're not attempting. Because they're not going to get in. So 7,000. You see what happens when you get rid of USAID and all these non-NGOs, these non-government organizations that are funding people coming across the border? We were talking about this years ago on Brett Weinstein's podcast, Dark Horse Podcast. They were talking about when he went down to the Darien Gap, when he's discussing how many organizations are down there giving people information on how to get into the country. It was being actively funded. Actively funded. Everyone was coming up to the Darien Gap in Panama. It's like, it's an amazing story, right? Dr. Phil went down there and all this stuff. This is legit. People went down there to see what was happening because most people, who's going to fucking go down there? And when people did, it's all there. It's all in English and signs and information and pamphlets. And like everyone's got a plan. It was funded. Millions, if not billions of dollars to send people into the country. Insane. That's wild, man. It's 95% down. 95%. The apprehensions are 95% down. So people aren't even trying to come in because they're not going to get in. Oh, that's awesome. I wonder why you're not hearing that fact. Well, it's getting out there. That's why I'm talking about it, because people need to know. People need to know. All right, let's get into it. I said 1, 2, or 3. I think we actually have. Oh, that's a picture. That's a picture. All right, so we'll do a picture first, and then we'll choose the 1, 2, or 3. So I'm just bringing this up on the screen. This just says, it's an image, so you have to watch the show. It says, so you want to be a cop. It's a poster. So you want to be a cop. You can do better. So can Seattle. Less cops, more school nurses. Less cops, more librarians. Less cops, more EMTs. And the website is policejobsuck.com.
Matt Damon.
Yeah. Less cops, more school nurses. What? School nurses are going to... Is there a school nurse like SWAT team that's going to go in and handle hostage situations and robberies? And more librarians. We need more people categorizing books and taking book returns and curating what books are at a library. You're not going to have libraries when people burn them down if you don't have cops. Books light on fire. There are a lot of people that would love to burn a library. Okay, less cops, more EMTs. Well, let me tell you how that works. If you have less cops, you're going to definitely need more EMTs. I'll tell you that. Less cops, many more EMTs will be needed. Many. All right. Wild. Okay, let's get into a video. Pam number 3. This is called Weight Loss Before and After.
What's in the box?
I think these people are buying these glasses with the anticipation that they're going to get that much fatter, and the glasses need to be the right size for their face when they get super, super fat. I don't know.
Weight loss transformation before and afters, as anti-body positivity will never stop people posting weight loss before and afters. You know why? Because they are so fucking normalized. The weight loss before and after has plagued us for decades and decades, and I encourage people to feel less than for not achieving the very narrow beauty standard. Look at how these front covers look at the text, look at how it is spoken about. It doesn't scream body positivity to me. I understand. Body positivity has become a social buzzword, and thank you to my friend Jess for saying that phrase, a social buzzword to show women are girls. Like, hey, I'm a feminist. I don't judge women on their bodies. I'm body positive. So me saying, hey, actually, you know, you posting your weight loss before and after picture isn't body positive. It's like the opposite, actually. Like literally diametrically opposed to. And people get offended by that because I think they're thinking, I'm saying, well, you're not a girl's girl. You can, again, hear it that way if the term body positive to you means that you are a girl's girl. It's got nothing to do with that. But that's where that body positivity term has now landed itself, because we've dropped all the actual advocacy and all the actual everything that the movement was originally standing for, which is this removal of systemic oppression of different body types and body sizes that didn't fit
systemic oppression. We know what Marxism is. We know.
Into the beauty standard. That's what it was originally for. But I think a lot of you just went, hey, body positivity, I'm a body and I feel positive about it. I'm part of this. And it's like, no, babe, you got to look under the hood. You've got to have done some education. You've got to advocate. And guess what? Body positivity advocation does not mean posting a weight loss before and after and feeding in to the diet culture propaganda we've seen our entire lives.
No, this just means no one can be body positive unless it's the way you want body positive to be. Body positive was actually for people that were like burn victims or amputees and stuff like that. That's why body positive was there. Body positive wasn't because you wanted to eat as many Twinkies as you wanted and force people to pretend like you earned something and that you're beautiful when you're not. When you have a shitty personality and you're a pathetic person, you're a victim and you complain all the time. No, you're just trying to force people to use your definition. No one can be body positive unless it's the way you want it to be. And people, look, I think the body positivity thing, just in general, just the concept of it, it's just not even named properly. You know, I mean, it's really just don't be a victim. That's what we should be talking about. Don't be a victim. Some people were given or dealt like a shitty card, the short end of the stick. They were, you know, born without legs or born with some sort of congenital defect. And that sucks. But it's whether or not that person allow, you know, it's a story you tell yourself. And if you let it hold you back, it's going to hold you back. So if you use it as a crutch or use it to your advantage, those are two different things. And society respects people that use those things to their advantage and doesn't play the victim because it's impressive. We like an underdog. We like people that overcome obstacles. It's inspiring. And if you're not inspired by that, if you're jealous, then you're a broken person, because if someone's success doesn't mean that you're more of a failure. Right? If someone's doing well, it doesn't mean that you're a piece of shit. What it should do is it should show you, hey, I could do better too. I can have X, Y, and Z. And most people don't know what people sacrifice to get what they have. You know, you want to be a billionaire, but people don't want to do what billionaires do. Most billionaires are not just sitting there because like, yeah, I inherited billions. A lot of them are theirs because they sacrificed a lot of their life and they lived a certain way, a certain lifestyle. And most people aren't willing to do that, which is why most people they don't have what those people have. But doesn't mean just because you have money doesn't mean that you have a fulfilled life and you feel, you know, it doesn't mean that you have all your shit together. That's for sure. So fame, success, money, those things don't mean that you have it all together and that you don't have issues. So you don't know what's going on inside someone's head. You don't know what drives them to compulsively or to, you know, get to that point where you have so much and you keep on having, you know, it's more isn't better. It's good to a point, but then it becomes obvious in many ways a crutch, or it becomes a limitation, or it becomes a hindrance. And, you know, we've seen that many, many times. All right. So let's get into this one. Let's do, I feel like that one's going to be more ridiculous than this one. So let's do this one. Fat phobia.
What's in the box?
And anti-blackness. The next one looks like it might be funnier, so we'll do that one last.
This is your yearly reminder that fat phobia is and has always been rooted in anti-blackness. So no, I'm not telling you to not work out or
this is going to be the fearing the black Sabrina Strings, right? Or whatever.
Start to recognize how the language that we use to talk about fatness and to talk about weight loss and
fearing the black body
how that perpetuates white supremacy, how we view our bodies, how that perpetuates white supremacy. I want you to give that a long, hard think, and I don't think you really have to think about it for too long. I think it's very blatant and obvious, but I think because of the fact that we grew up in a culture that praises sickness, and diet culture, that we have refused to recognize the ways that we have partnered with white supremacy to harm ourselves. Okay? Love yourselves, love your body, recognize that your body is not a crime, that it is not a crime to be who you are and to have the hips and the whatever you have. Like, be yourself, okay? Take care of yourself, eat healthy, work out, but don't do too much.
Yeah, don't do too much. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful being awesome. Be careful. Be careful getting great results. You're going to become one of them. You're going to become one of those racists if you go to the fucking gym. You're going to be a racist. If you go to the fucking gym, you're a racist. You're a racist. It's a fact. It's a fact. Everybody knows it. You're a racist. You're a racist. Sit down. Fake news. You're a racist. All right. You go to the fucking gym. God forbid a woman likes to eat, you know, fam? God forbid a woman likes to eat. Society's trying to keep her down. God forbid a woman likes to eat. Well, that's what this video is called. God forbid a woman likes to eat. Oh boy, here we go. Last one.
God forbid.
Jesus.
God forbid a woman likes to eat and doesn't hate herself.
How did I know it was going to start like that? I didn't watch this video. How did I know it was going to start out with like, God forbid, a woman likes to eat? Brothers and sisters.
My stomach is big in my pants because of all the money I'm hiding underneath my belly fat. How about that? Does nobody care about getting to the bag anymore? I get crazy comments like this all the time, but I'm addressing this one because it perfectly illustrates how fat phobia literally poisons your mind. It takes a certain level of misery, internal sadness, and loneliness to comment on somebody's video that has nothing to do with their appearance, telling them what they should and should not wear based on their body size. I pity you.
So I guess we're talking about crop tops. Look, if you're morbidly obese, I don't think anyone wants to see you in a crop top. Just saying. And again, I'm not trying to say that you can't wear a crop top. I'm not trying to make a law or anything. I mean, we have certain standards in society. You can't walk down the street just completely naked. You know, we have a society to run here. We're trying to have a society here with some moral framework and a way that we can, you know, preserve innocence and promote creativity and human flourishing here. So seeing a morbidly obese person in a crop top, it's like, fuck, man, no one wants to see that shit. Okay, so you're obese. Let's get you healthy. But I mean, and again, I'm not saying that there should be a rule or a law about it. I mean, there should be a societal standard, maybe like a public indecency. That would be reasonable. But it should be something that's frowned upon, right? It should be frowned upon. It should be frowned upon to have your fat gut hanging out. I don't want a dude wearing a crop top either with his like beer gut hanging out. I don't want to see that shit. Okay.
I pity you because no one ever told you it was okay to wear the things that you want to wear regardless of how your body looks. Projection is crazy. It hurts you so bad that someone who looks like me could possibly enjoy their life because you've been brainwashed into believing that you have to be in a smaller body to enjoy yours. And that's not my fault. But on a more serious note, I don't call out fat phobia because I believe every fat person should just stay fat, blah, blah, blah. You should prioritize your health, be active when you can, try to eat whole balanced meals when you can, indulge when you like. But I call out fat phobia because it literally kills people. This comment is insignificant, but this mindset is very dangerous. Fat bias in healthcare means that people in larger bodies are more likely to be misdiagnosed, more likely to go undiagnosed, or just have their symptoms completely disregarded. Fat phobia is rooted in anti-blackness, but I'm not even going to waste my mental energy trying to explain that to you. If my existence in this body bothers you so much, you need to get off the internet and sit on somebody's couch because you guessed it! A lot of you need therapy! You need therapy! You need therapy! Anyway. Don't play with me.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Goddamn. Goddamn, son. Goddamn. God damn.
I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Jeez. Holy crap. This is just... I don't know, fam.
That gorilla
I don't know.
has seen the city of Zinj.
All right. Let's check out... Let's do a throwback. Throwback time.
I don't really get this, but I genuinely believe the shit that I say.
I bet you fucking do.
The abolition of private property is like my number one fucking aim.
You are evil.
All right, so she's a hardcore communist. Private property rights are arguably the most important thing. The most important thing that you could ever have. That and free speech.
Personal property is fine. You can have your fucking personal property.
You are weird, Todd.
All right, this is taking a lot of fucking turns. I have to unpack this. She's moving into a home that she fucking owns, right? Her number one fucking aim is to abolish private property. And then she goes, personal property is fine. Can you contradict yourself faster than that? I didn't even get a chance to process this first stupid shit you said.
Go fuck yourself.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Let's do another one. Let's double up. Let's double up.
To be pissed off that your body doesn't fit into certain spaces and not make it about you having to change your body to fit.
You're weak.
I hate it when people talk like this.
You can't fly in an airplane without buying an extra seat. What if it was okay to be upset about that?
You could be upset about whatever you want, and you are. You people are upset about every fucking last thing because you have nothing better to do. Get a job.
You fucking people.
Both things can be true.
Unfortunately.
And your feelings are valid.
Not true. Fam, your feelings are not valid to anyone else. Your feelings and your emotions, like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Reality doesn't care about your feelings. Life doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
It don't matter.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
It don't matter. Your feelings, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter, brother. Meatball. Oh, Creatine Hunger Force. I need some soundboards from... I need some soundboards from ATHF. Okay, let's get into the Swole card. Fam, it's Get Swole season. Let's give away today's Swole card. Are you ready, fam? Here we go. Let's give it away. Come on, Falcon. Let's give away a Swole card, eh? Today's winner. We got a winner. It is Loretta. Congratulations, Loretta. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Loretta. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swolecard 3267 in the subject. Your mailing address in the body of the email. Super dope. Fam, thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Remember, The Daily Swole on Rumble and YouTube for the live streams, but also make sure that you follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And take a moment, leave a comment on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. It helps tremendously. Even if you watch the live stream, please go leave a review on those channels, on those apps. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Beaches, go to the fucking gym. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? My shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping.